It's got glitz, it's got glamour, and it's got Gal Gadot. The 2022 mystery film Death on the Nile comes as a sequel to the 2017 Murder on the Orient Express. The 2022 film features fresh faces such as Russel Brand, Fazal, Dawn French, Gal Gadot, Armie Hammer, and Annette Bening, as well as Tom Bateman and Kenneth Branagh reprising their roles from the prequel. The star-studded ensemble, coupled with one of Agatha Christie's brilliant works, made for a surefire box office success. Several critics commended the acting and the direction of the film, and Murder on the Nile went on to amass over $131 million worldwide. The first film was released in February of 2022 to a limited audience and then went on to be theatrically released a few weeks later. By the end of March 2022, Murder on the Nile was available on home media. Speaking of which, there is a few differences from the theatrical release and the home media versions. What are they? Deleted scenes. Why were these scenes cut from the theatrical release of the film? How would they have contributed to the film? Is there a scandal lurking? You'll find out in today's video. Agatha Christie is the world-renowned author recognized for her 66 mystery thriller novels along with 14 short stories. The English writer went on to receive numerous accolades throughout her life. The memory lives on in the 21st century owing to the contributions made by her family and the organization built in her name to bring life to her works, the Agatha Christie Limited. James Pritchard, Christie's great-grandson and also the chairman of the Agatha Christie Limited organization, expressed enthusiasm for sequels in 2015 after the success of Murder on the Orient Express. Pritchard was also signed on as the producer for Murder on the Nile. In a cutscene, Matthew and James Pritchard discuss Christie's notes on human habits and behavior, which went on to conceptualize her novel and was what the writers and producers drew inspiration from when adapting her novel into a screenplay. The clip also features Annette Bening, who would feature for the first time in Christie's works as Euphemia. The actress spoke at length about how she was inspired by Christie's works and how there'd always be a stack of murder mystery novels in her home. Basically, the end credit scene featured on Blu-ray is something that describes the character's love for the franchise in itself and how they believe Christie herself drew inspiration for the film. One of Agatha Christie's most celebrated and well-known characters is Hercule Poirot. The Belgian detective is also one of the British writer's longest-running characters and has been featured in 33 of her novels, along with 2 screenplays and several short stories. The character has been found in several movies, with multiple characters drawing on inspiration from the eccentric but brilliant detective, a role only Keith Branagh could truly bring to life. The Oscar-nominated actor reprised his role from Murder on the Orient Express to Death on the Nile and returned as Poirot. In a deleted scene from the movie, he's attempting to vacation in Egypt, but his attempt proves to be futile when he's called to solve a mystery. This mystery in question isn't part of the actual plot of the film, but it proves testament to his detective work. The deleted scene is short but sweet. Maybe that's why the producers thought it was unnecessary to place it in the actual film. The mystery is one of 8 other deleted scenes, but was eventually made available online and on digital releases. Murder on the Orient Express has become one of the most celebrated adaptations of Agatha Christie's work, and the commercial success of the film was what motivated producers to go on and release a second film. However, this one featured one of the industry's black sheep, Armie Hammer. While it's important to say that the allegations on Hammer are as of yet unfounded, they did sufficiently halt the actor's career. Hammer plays Simon Doyle in the film, Lynette's husband and Jacqueline's former lover. His role, while being a substantial one, is surprisingly cut short. Without giving away too much, Simon's role in Death on the Nile is pretty substantial, but owing to Armie Hammer's reputation in the industry as of late, fans couldn't help but think his role was at least somewhat overshadowed. Now, to Hammer's defense, murder mystery novels are barely ever marketed on the same scale as most of the other movies. But this is Agatha Christie's work we're talking about. Maybe because of the pandemic, or maybe because of Disney's lack of interest in the film, Hammer was was barely if ever mentioned as part of the ensemble cast. We knew Gal Gadot would be part of the movie, and we knew Harriet's character would be reprised by the same actor from the first film, but not much about Hammer's involvement. Could it also be that Hammer was originally intended to be in more scenes than the ones he actually got? Well, that's pretty speculative. Critics did take note of how Murder on the Nile fell flat compared to the prequel. One reason might be Simon's lack of dialogue and appearance. We don't know, but it sure seems like it. Hercules Poirot is well celebrated in Agatha Christie's works as being both humorous and mastermind in his own right. The man is seen throughout the film as coming up with out-of-the-box explanations for things that are seemingly obvious to the average person, including how he eventually solves the murder. But at the end of the day, he's a lonely man looking for a greater purpose in life. A purpose we notice is being fulfilled by his romance with Salome Outerbourne, played by Sophie Okondo. Death on the Nile features several scenes of the two and displays their blooming romance, but maybe the directors and producers of the film thought that too much of the romance would take away from the actual murder of the murder mystery. In one deleted scene, the detective is seen talking at length with Outerbourne when they run into each other in the Egyptian marketplace. They talk about her nieces and business partner Rosalie, as well as about Jackie, a suspect in the murder of Lynette. We all know that murder is bound to be solved at some point in the film, but what makes Agatha Christie's works different than any other mystery novelist is the fact that she keeps readers hooked on till the very end. Also, there are very few, if ever any, loopholes in her explanations of the murder. For the screenplay, the writers know that they had to keep that up. I mean, we all knew that Parrot would eventually be the one to catch the killer, and he would also do so based off of more than just a hunch. Now, while in the book, Parrot discusses his explanations at length before reaching a conclusion on who killed Lynette. In the movie, the explanations are a bit less profound. Parrot was bound to catch the killer, but the way he did so in the film made some fans believe that it was somewhat rushed. He actually presents a lot of explanations for why he presumes the killer to be who he thinks it is. No spoilers here. However, in the movie, it's a bit more cutthroat, more like that guy's the killer. Again, we can't say this with absolute certainty, but fans have been speculating online in Agatha Christie's dedicated forums over whether or not this might have been the case. It seems like the writers from Death on the Nile didn't care too much for romance. To their defense, the movie is a murder mystery one, but maybe a little more romance would have added more flair to the film. In a deleted scene, Parrot's friend and Euphemia's son, Bok, is seen approaching Rosalie and kissing her while Euphemia is in close proximity. Rosalie seemingly admonishes Bok for his owing to his mother's disapproval of their relationship, but Bok claims that he doesn't care and would like to make the most of his time with Rosalie, something that we can see Rosalie is thrilled about. At the end, however, it seems like the writers weren't that thrilled with the scene and wanted it cut from the movie. Would you have preferred these scenes to be included in the movie, or do you think Death on the Nile is just fine without them? Be sure to let us know in the comment section down below. Which one of these scenes did you know about? Which ones did you not? Better yet, were you able to catch the killer before Parrot could? Make sure you comment and subscribe for more movie-related content, and we'll see you next time.